Well, I believe that we're live. At least it says so on the screen. Welcome to this new moon in Aquarius, the super new moon in Aquarius, I might add, that's happening on Saturday. So in this live stream, we're going to talk about that or I think there's actually five or six things that I feel that are important to know. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk a little bit about the astrology, and a lot of what I get comes from spirit and through channeling. And then we're going to talk about some recommended practices for the energies of this month. And then we're also going to do some divination cards. Actually, at some point I may have to run into the other room and grab those cards so we can do them, but we'll still do them, assuming that I remember. So you know what? As people are coming in, and by the way, if you're watching this as a video, thank you. I'm going to timestamp when we actually start the video. Right now it takes a few minutes for people to get their notifications that are live. So I'll do a few quick introductions. I'll run in the other room, grab the divination cards I wanted to do today, and then we'll just get going here. So hold on. Ta-da, I'm back. I'm back. So we have these. So let me put them in a place that I'll actually remember. Okay, doke. So like I said, I'll say a few quick hellos. I mean, once I get started, I'm going to run through the information. So I'll try to keep a little bit of an eye on the comment stream, but I'm not going to like do a lot with that. So in any event, so Carissa's, we'll just do a few quick hellos here. So going to meet all my friends, going to have myself a ball, going to tell my friends that I'm a wild one. Well, we're definitely in the right season for that. We're coming to Aquarius season, so definitely, this time to think outside the box. So, hi everybody. Hi Suzette, Yvonne. Hello, it's from Germany. Thank you. Let me grab a little bit of water. Let's get this show on the road here. So this is a very defining and powerful new moon. Now the new moons, as I say, every new moon really form the template of this whole 29-day cycle, this whole lunar cycle. So what's happening with the planetary positions, the angles or the aspects, as well as the numerology, this kind of sets that template that we can build upon. So it's really good to know what it is so that you can use your energy in the most efficient and the wisest manner possible. So here's a little bit of information. I'm going to be working from my notes a lot. So that's why I'm looking down a lot also, by the way. And welcome. So, hi, Steve. Hi, Carissa again. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Lakeside Laura. Thank you for coming in. And Sirius and Manic Mama and Blindly Inspired and Angela, Michael Marr and Suzette and Yvonne Young and the buttonist. Thank you. And Susan. Thank you. And Brooke and Fleet and Lisa Marie. Wow, we got a full house here. All right. So new moon is the 21st. I think for most of the planet, it's actually on the 21st. There may be a few outliers near the international date line, but for most of us, it's the 21st. Here on the east coast of the U.S. of A., it's 3:53 p.m. at 1 degree 33 minutes of Aquarius. So 1 degree is solar ruled. We've had a few new moons back to back happening at 1 degree. Now, it's a super moon. It's really powerful. And I think one of the key elements of this is that this really kicks off Aquarius season. And Pluto is very close to Aquarius. In March, it's going to actually tip into Aquarius for 3 months before going back into Capricorn. And Aquarius is that very revolutionary, higher mind kind of an energy. We've been in this Capricorn energy, very Saturnian, very grounded, doing the hard work, all this stuff. Once we hit Aquarius season, I wouldn't say Uranus with the ruling planet's a light energy, but it's certainly more expansive, and it's an air sign also. And what's going to happen is we're going to start to get a taste of what life is going to look like after, I'll say 2024. Like, this is where we're really going to that Aquarius season. Aquarius is really about evolution, about revolution, about about sudden change, about higher mind. It's the higher octave of Mercury. Grab a little water, and so this is really showing us where society is going to start to head towards. It's going to give us really an idea of where this awakening is heading. And then as we get into the summer and we're kind of, Pluto's back in Capricorn, we're also going to get an idea of how much work we still need to do as a collective and individually in order to really see this global awakening as well as our personal awakening full on. So this new moon, Mercury, Mars, and Uranus are all stationed, meaning they're not moving a whole lot. Mars went direct on the 12th, so Mars will come out of its station, I think, on the 23rd or thereabouts, and it's going to start moving forward. Mercury went retrograde, went direct like 3 hours ago, so Mercury's going to be stationing till around the 24th. Then Uranus goes direct on the 22nd. Uranus is the ruling planet for Aquarius, so basically what that means, when Uranus is stationed, it's more powerful. And so that makes this whole Aquarius vibe stronger because of that. And also it's a super moon. So that moon is closer. Its effects are closer to us. So once that happens on the 22nd, all planets will be direct for about 3 months. So again, all this energy of preparation, of being very grounded, of working hard, with that Saturn, that Capricorn energy. Now we start to see some benefits. Now we start to see some results. Now we start to see some rewards. So there's a really positive vibe here. Now, it's not without its challenges, because after all, it is 2023. We're still in COVID, energy. We're still in this whole global restructuring, this whole energy of uncovering the truths behind the agendas and all that's going on in the news, and where we've been oppressed, where we've been misled, where we've been programmed. So a lot of this energy is kind of waking us up and giving us a higher vantage point to see what's going on in the world, basically. So a few other little astrological goodies here. As I suck down my water over and over again, Uranus goes direct at 14 degrees Taurus. Taurus is about the financial institution, about money. So expect a lot of upheaval in the financial systems. And being that it's 14 degrees, that brings Mercury into play, because 14 is a Mercury ruled numerology. It reduces to number 5. And so let's see, where is Mercury? I believe it's about 8 degrees Capricorn now, and 8 degrees is Saturn, and Capricorn is Saturn. So we want to see what Saturn's doing. Well, Saturn's at 24 degrees Aquarius, so it all comes full circle. 24, the number 24 is about integrity, by the way, and about truth and honesty, amongst its other things. It's Venus ruled. And what's Venus doing? Well, Venus is doing something. I've got it in my nose. Also, Venus Saturn conjunct on the 22nd. So Venus and Saturn are joining up. The Moon and Pluto conjunct. So Pluto makes things more dramatic. So with Pluto conjuncting this super new moon, it makes the energy more dramatic. And Pluto's also very much about, again, evolution, transmutation, and all that kind of stuff. Also, Mercury, we talked about that. Venus is going to conjunct Pluto on the 25th. So all this adds up to big changes in the political structures. If you want to dive deeper into the astrology, check out Armand Diaz's Integral Astrology channel. I'm just touching on it. So here's the 5, or unless I did 6 things, the 5 or 6 things that we need to know. I'm just, wow, lots of comments. Hi, everybody. Well, I'm born on the 24th, and so I was thrilled to learn that number is very connected with integrity and honor and stuff like that. And I have to say, I've always been that way. So, thank you. Oh, thank you for bringing that up. Another reason, let me just hook this from blindly inspired. Another reason this is such a powerful new moon is that it's the Lunar New Year. So we come into the year of the rabbit tomorrow. After Lunar New Year comes Chinese New Year, right, the day after. So is it water rabbit? Who knows Chinese astrology? I know it's the year of the rabbit. It might be water rabbit. So thanks for bringing up Chinese 24, easy to the end. So new beginnings. All new moons are good for new beginnings because it's a new moon. But I actually did write Lunar New Year down here. So all new. What did I write? All new moons. Okay, Lunar New Year. It's at 1 degree of the sign. One is the first number, right? So that's the beginning. 3 planets are stationing, going direct. That's about new beginnings, also. And because it's Aquarius season, and with the other aspects, when you're creating your new beginnings, think big, think outside the box. Aquarius and its ruling planet Uranus. Uranus loves surprises, so expect surprises locally and globally. But Uranus is not a conformist. Uranus is outside the box. And it's interesting in a way that the number 4, which represents the box in numerology, is Uranus ruled. So being in a box teaches us how to expand and be outside the box. If that makes any sense. So thing is, around the new moon, it's it's again, it's Saturday afternoon. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, around that time, this is a good time to do like a ceremony or a ritual, like do maybe a candle or do some law of attraction work and really start to plan that out while we're still have the last few days of Capricorn energy, because the sun is going to go into Aquarius when Friday, I think Friday the 20th. So we're really going to start Aquarius season. So that's number 1, new beginning. So good for law of attraction manifestation. If you like to do like candle work or visualization or white magic or prayer work or stuff like that, you're going to get a big boost. And especially if this is going to be about your personal growth and your expansion and also evolution and revolution. So that's number 1. Number 2 thing to know is that your hard work over probably, we'll say, the last 2.5 years or even earlier, but especially in Capricorn season, your hard work starts to pay off. So I think we're going to start to see some results from things that we've been working on, whether it's working on things like our own shadow work or our own spiritual growth, or manifesting specific things in our lives. And I wrote a few notes. The transition from the mountain goat season to the water bearer season. So right again, the mountain. What does the mountain goat do? They work hard. They're sure-footed. And the water bearer, that's Aquarius. Water's about flow. It's about go with the flow, and we're 70% water. So the other thing, 3 planet station all going direct. So while we had all this retrograde stuff, and while there was so much uncertainty, and there still is some uncertainty, obviously, a lot of this, we were working hard just to maintain our lives, just to maintain our sanity, just to maintain our relationships, to keep our jobs, to try to grow and evolve. So that all the effort and energy you put in, basically, you're going to start to see things start to flow. A lot of you are going to see that. Some may have more work to do. Nothing's black and white, but this is the general energy. I always talk about understand both the astrology, the numerology, as well as what spirit is telling us, because these are the roadmaps. This is telling us how energy is moving. It's always easier to swim with the tide than against the tide. So there's number 2. Number 3, big turning point in money and global economy. That can go in a couple of different directions. There's this gentleman named Klaus Schwab. You may have heard of him. The one that said, "You will own nothing and you will be happy." And I'm not going to speak on what political or leadership ideology that comes under, but think of like Cuba or Russia or China, and I think you get a pretty good idea of where that ideology is. It's like you own nothing. It's like the government will be centralized and provide everything for you. So that's not exactly freedom in my book. So that's one thing. But another thing is, so this could go the other way. And I think that governments or I mean, it may be the world, the WEF, hopefully not, but they may be involved also. But I think governments or corporations or ruling parties are really going to try to come together and figure this out. Like nobody wants to go into a depression, and we're kind of facing the specter of an economic depression, which is kind of, I guess, one step beyond a recession, right? And nobody wants that. And the thing is, there's infinite money. There's money. It's just energy. It's just abundance. It's just really like the mentality. And you have to figure that money is, again, it's spiritual abundance. It's the physical counterpart to spiritual abundance. Everything that exists in abundance, from the 15 trillion cells in my body to the billions of atoms I just inhale with each breath, to the abundance of air, the abundance of water, the abundance of trees and animals, and all that stuff. So we live in this abundant universe, and when we are spiritually open and aware, we attract physical abundance also. So the fact that money is so hard, half of the world doesn't know if they'll have food next week for sure. That's how impoverished this is. So it's really a statement on the spiritual poverty of our world and the society, and how that's translating to a shortage of something that actually exists in abundance. So anyways, so I think that on a positive note, I do feel like there's going to be some talk about this, and maybe even some action that's being taken. So number 3, just a big turning point. And because we've been in inflation, we're heading towards a recession. A turning point will be a good thing. And as I'm doing that, I'm hearing like, there's going to be more people taking responsibility. That can be locally or globally. Drinking water and holding up 4 fingers. Number 4, revolution is in the air, globally and locally. That's what Uranus does. That doesn't mean there's going to be a revolutionary war in the United States, by the way. And we talked about in the yearly forecast, the 2022, and I still don't know exactly what this means, but it sticks out that for February, one of the predictions was lawlessness. And I don't think that meant that in February that everybody's going to blatantly disregard the laws, and there's going to be mass looting and mass riots and all that stuff. But I think we're going to see that in certain sections or sectors that laws get disregarded. And I think we're going to see more of a tendency for people to disregard laws. And I think people are going to have it. See what happens in the first week of February. As I'm talking, I feel like there may be some rule or something, not a lockdown, but something that may resemble some level of restriction or something imposed that people are just not going to like. So I think there's that revolutionary energy in the air. Let me just see what else I wrote. Globally and locally, personal spiritual revolution. So that's part of us. Demonstrations, rally, more disregard for the law. Personally, lots of breakthroughs. Many will be having their awakenings. And so that's the personal revolution. It's kind of revolting against our programming and what we learned and what we thought was real, until we started to feel energy more and started to touch with spirit more and realize that it's all an illusion and all that stuff. So, this is all part of the Aquarius energy. I don't think it's going to be mass wars or stuff like that. In fact, nothing about war really came up. The usual suspects, more global tensions, more weather related, issues, all that stuff. And what did I say? I'm just remembering something that I said in December, I think in November, about global stuff. I remember saying this 2 or 3 times here, that I'm seeing most of the disasters of a watery nature. And I'm seeing what's happening in California right now. They're getting a little break, thank goodness. Again, that's not to say there won't be fires, that there won't be heat waves, that there won't be ice, that there won't be volcanoes and landslides, but that's interesting. That was just the energy. So that's number 4. Number 5, big breakthroughs in things like technology, medicine, maybe some UFO disclosures. That keeps coming up more and more and more and more. Increased sightings, increased contacts. By the way, tomorrow night at 5:30 or 6, we're going to release a video about more about how to connect with your extraterrestrial guides, and because more and more people are starting to become aware of the extraterrestrials as well as the interdimensional beings of light, beings of energy, beings from other star systems that are really with us and working with us during this shift and change in our planet, so that we can in time be welcomed into, whatever we want to call it. I hear that the Galactic Federation is used to talk about the those beings that have advanced to more of a level where they can join that way, from Star Trek. But anyway, so big breakthroughs. I think we'll hear about things. Of course, always watch artificial intelligence, because we know what the plan is to keep moving forward with the plan on interfacing human with technology. I've heard things, and I encourage people not to really buy into anything that's fear-based, even from well-meaning sources, because that's just not going to do any good. So I'm hearing people, that more lean towards the conspiracy side of things, talking about no natural births, this, that, and the other thing. And certainly we have to be aware of possibility. We can't, have our heads in the sand and just avoid everything that's unpleasant or that can invoke fear or whatever. But the thing is, be aware that those powers that be know that fear can be exploited, and they will allow or maybe even propagate conspiracy theories that promote fear, like on the opposite end of the spectrum, rather than fear being controlled by big state, that type of thing. So we have to keep an eye on that. But medical breakthroughs will be good. I mean, a lot of this stuff is already available. It's just when the public knows about it. So a lot of this technology is already here, but I think we're going to hear about some big breakthroughs. And number 6, it is time to act. All planets are now direct. This new moon is the time to put your plans into action, put your best foot forward, assimilate the lessons of the past 2.5 years into action. The energy is starting to turn. So again, it's not going to be without its problems and its OMG moments by any means. We're still in a massive, transition. We still have an energetic or psychic battle going on between the forces of control versus the natural forces of awakening. And of course, the natural forces are going to win out in the end anyways. But anyway, these are just things to really get to. And I'm kind of peeking at your comments, but I'm not going to like answer all of them, because I really want to get the information out in a timely manner for people that are watching this video. Well, we've only been 23 minutes. We're doing good. I always aim for a half hour with these, and sometimes it goes a little bit longer. But thank you guys for your comments and for interacting with each other and everything. I appreciate it. So time to act. And other notes, they're saying to do more of your shadow integration work. Shadows are not a bad thing. Shadows cease to be shadows when you shine a light on a shadow anyway. So shining the light of awareness into the subconscious is where it's at. We don't do this, or we shouldn't say we, but a lot of people don't do this because it's scary to look within. And when we look within, our shadows are basically suppressed pains and traumas, both personally as well as family or ancestrally, as well as culturally, as well as karmically, like past lives and stuff like that. So keep doing the shadow work, but really it's more flipping into now assimilate some of your lessons into action. So again, the next few days, if have some goals, if you've been working towards something, this is the time to double down, to step to the next level and really put the word action back in the word attraction. So that's really the time and the energy, partly thanks to all planets in forward motion. So a few spiritual exercises. I think I've read all of this stuff. I mean, there's always the usual, feel the flow. I talk about that a lot. When you get present and you breathe and you just allow and stop thinking and just allow, then you start to feel tingles of energy. And then over time, you can start to, with your mind, move that energy through. I mean, it moves through you naturally, but understand there's a force in the universe. You could call it the force, right? Somebody came up with that. Who was that again? um, but there's a benevolent energy, a frequency that we all have access to, but our programming has blocked most of it from it. But if we can just allow it to flow, this force seeks to clear your blockages. It seeks to heal disease that maybe doctors can't. Like, we have access to this, and once we start to become more aware, open, and present, and we start to feel this, then we can start to work with it. So when you get good at that, then and I've been meditating for over 40 years, and one of my most profound awakening experiences happened 8 months after I started doing martial arts training, and Tai Chi was part of it. So I did internal as well as more combat oriented martial arts. I mean, I wasn't spiritual at the time. I was in college. I was a small kid with a big mouth, and I figured I better learn how to fight. But anyway, but I got into it, and then what happened next is that I started to tune into the spirituality. One time I was doing my Tai Chi form, and all of a sudden I wasn't doing it anymore. It felt like there was another being doing the movements, and my hands were lifting on its own. My body was moving on its own. I was like, oh my God, that is so cool. Now I understand. Now I know what Chi is. That was over 40 years ago. And thinking that I knew it was definitely very what's the right word? Well, egotistical. There's another word that I'm trying to think of that's not coming to me, but egotistical work, because was just the very beginning. That was just the first glimpse of the awareness of all that it is. It wasn't like, oh my God, I got it. It was like, now I'm ready to start learning. It's really what that meant. But in any event, it's chi, prana, flow, whatever you want to call it. This is like energy that basically joins physical with the very spiritual. So everything has a flow. Even so-called inanimate or so-called lifeless objects have energy and flow to it, because everything has atoms. Atoms are hyper energetic, with electrons that travel 1/100th the speed of light. That's a heck of a lot of energy. So anyhow, feel the flow. Work with your presence, work with your heart brain coherence. If you don't understand what that is, I have videos. I've plenty of videos, and you can also check it with Greg Braden, Heart Math Institute, and Joe Dispenza also. They're three of my favorite sources to learn that. But if you want to check out my videos, I do this practice every day, 3 times a day, and it's changing my life. So really, in a nutshell, it's learning how to hold magnified gratitude, appreciation, and love, and how to expand that in the heart. And when you're able to do that, then the heart and the brain join. And when that happens, then your brain can draw on the heart's energy, which is 40 or 60 times stronger than the brain. So anyway, it's an amazing practice. And you tap into a frequency that when you tap into that, you can use that to heal disease, to reverse aging, to manifest your desires, and all that good stuff. So all that. So specifically, they're talking about, well, do a lot of breath and exercise. Breath, Aquarius, it's an air sign. So breathing, we can go 3 or 4 days without water. If you're trained and do Sundance, you can go longer. They basically hang from a tree for 4 days after doing sweat lodge with no water. But that's a whole nother thing. Like, we can raise our consciousness to a point that we can change the physiological reactions. And therefore, some people don't eat. Airtarians, they virtually don't eat. So what else? So Aquarius is an air sign. Change of seasons and moving out of Capricorn season will naturally give us the desire to exercise the body. Again, Capricorn's very earth. It's Saturn. Saturn doesn't like to move a lot. Its corresponding metal is lead. And so that's kind of the energy of Saturn. It teaches us, it grounds us. I mean, it's a valuable planet. There's nothing wrong or negative with it. But once we get it out of that into Aquarius season, it's kind of like, I have more energy now. So exercise, work out, yoga or modified yoga if you need to modify it, all that kind of stuff. Yoga, qigong, tai chi, hiking, whatever you do for exercise, for breathing. They're saying to use a lot of long, deep breathing. So very simple, clear your mind, get present, always get present. The more you can get present, the more you feel flow, the more you feel spirit, and the more aligned you are to source and your higher abilities. So get nice and present, and then feel, love and light all around you. You can feel that in your heart also. So when you inhale, you kind of join the love and the light around you into your heart center and feel that circulating around your body. And on the exhale, release any stuck energy, consciously release any cog, other people's energies, stuff like that. We talked about that a lot. It's a very simple but very powerful breathing exercise. And people do it and they get back to me. They had a bad day at the office or whatever, or they do it for 3 minutes and they say, wow, this really did make me feel better. This really did make a difference. And breath is everything. Breath is life. Learn how to breathe properly and train yourself to do that. I just naturally take breaths from my diaphragm. Thank you, martial arts training. I think 85 to close to 97 or 98% of people are chest breathers. They just breathe from the chest because they're so used to being in anxiety. When you're in anxiety, that's how you tend to breathe. And that's how, nobody's really, in school, we're not taught how to properly breathe. And the way that we're programmed and conditioned to be separated from spirit, because our spirits know how to breathe, but we get separated from that and we forget. The natural breath is from the diaphragm. You fill the lower lungs first and the upper lungs. So proper breathing is going to help your health and energy level, just that. So work on different breath techniques. They're also saying doing throat chakra exercises. So you guys that are part of Spirit Mind Family, the Patreon group, you've got a leg up on this because it's throat chakra month. Throat chakra is about communication with spirit, communication with source. When we talk about communication over any kind of distance, whether it's physical distance or energetic distance, that's a function of the throat. That's a function of air. So when we channel, we activate the throat. When we do mediumship, it all comes from the heart, primarily, but we activate the throat chakra also, as well as the upper chakra. So doing different throat chakra breaths, you can work with the root sound hum. Hung. It almost sounds like a combination of ham and hung, but it's translated to English as HAM, ham, and that's the root sound of the throat chakra. You can just sit and go hung, hung, and visualize a lot of blue light and visualize a lot of energy clearing, and do that as a daily exercise. Well, for this new moon, for this whole lunar cycle. And with that, you can practice channeling, you can practice automatic writing and stuff like that. By the way, we're going to do a class in channeling and automatic writing on Zoom on the 7th and the 8th. So there'll be plenty of lead time, to sign up and everything. I don't think it's up on the website yet. It will be tomorrow for people that want to join that. So number 3 was do your manifestation exercise, and we explain why that's important. New moon, new beginnings, everything going direct. It's just a really great flow for manifestation. And they're saying to try working with candles also. And one of the things that you can do is when you're doing your law of attraction work, we teach it this way on the channel. And this is how, in my opinion anyway, how all the good teachers teach it, is that you become, it's not like you desire something to happen in the future. You become the energy like it already happened. And if you can be grateful for that and really genuinely grateful and really feel like it's already happening, then your frequency changes and you start to attract that into your life. So let me see, did I do any notes here? Okay, no, I didn't. But so the first step is really feel that. So get into that mindset. Like if I want to, be more wealthy, I'll feel like I'm in my beautiful house and that I have a lot of nice things around me, and I'll just feel it. It's not even so much. Sometimes you can get bogged down with trying to visualize or trying too hard to feel something. Don't make a big deal of it. Just just feel it and just feel really happy and good about it. Like if I was really wealthy, how would I feel? And feel it now. I'd feel excited and joyful, yes, but the main thing, I'd feel relieved. I'd feel stress-free. I'd feel calm. Like, oh my God, I don't have to worry about money for the rest of my life. And I really feel that now. So once you get that feeling, what you do is you hold that candle, and through your hand, you feel that feeling in your heart and project that through your hand and into the candle, and feel that feeling and see that visualization of whatever it is that you've already manifested, and that you're working on manifesting, in your physical life. See that in the candle. Then you say a prayer and light the candle, and then gaze at the candle flame and step. First, when in the candle flame, visualize yourself enjoying the fruits that you've already manifested that. So see what you were seeing in your heart and projected in your candle. Actually see that in the flame. And what the flame does, it transmutes that energy back to the ether so that it can manifest back into the physical world, the physical experience. And then step into the candle and feel like you're in the candle. You're enjoying that. Do that as a daily exercise. They're saying to do that manifestation exercise. And that's basically it. So we did want to do some divination. Oh, you guys are having quite a conversation there. I'm jealous I'm not part of it. Well, Sunday mornings at tarot time, and then some of my other live streams, we do it more as a hangout, and I like to flash comments and have a little conversation. Again, for the benefit for the people that are watching this video, and that's why I wanted to flow. So I've got I love these cards. They're sacred geometry deck, and I'm asking Spirit to give us a quality and a shape that would be conducive. Move a couple things. I'm actually sitting up on a chair. Usually I'm on the ground. Okay. I'm just asking Spirit to guide me to the right card. This is it. Thank you. Wow, what do we get? Integration. All right. Thank you. So that's something I didn't really touch on. That's why I like to do this. Sometimes I'll get something that I didn't even talk about come in. Lots of love. Thank you. Lots of love on the chat tonight. We like love. Yeah, we love love. Let me read this and I'll hold this up again for you guys. So the frequency of integration supports our embrace of every aspect of ourselves, allowing what we perceive as positive and what we perceive as negative to harmonize in a balanced symphony of life. So we touched on that briefly. So here's what this looks like. And, I'll bring this a little closer. So the idea is you can kind of visualize and meditate and integrate the sacred geometry for integration. How cool is that? Peekaboo. Do we have any children on today? Little children? We're all kids, right? Very good. So yes. So that's that. So, again, we are here to experience and learn and grow from our experiences. Spirit doesn't deem positive or negative. That's our interpretation, our judgment. Pain, we don't think as a positive experience, but how much did you grow through pain? And did you or did you not have much of, if not the lion's share of your growth through painful challenges that you overcame? So we want to integrate, the challenges. When we talk about shadow work, we're not trying to lose the shadow, we're trying to integrate it in the totality of our being. And by doing that, we do a little bit of a soul retrieval type of a thing where we start to integrate lost soul parts. Like when we have a serious trauma and that we never fully recover from, which happens a lot, people that have been, in bad accidents or had, sexual misconduct or, whatever it is, or violence or whatever, part of our soul gets trapped in that time period. This is a shamanistic interpretation, but we can go back because it's not really going back. It's just shifting because all time happens in the present, and we can reintegrate those lost soul parts. So this is, again, this supports what I was saying about doing shadow work under this lunar energy. Also, we had that beautiful higher mind Uranus Aquarius energy at our backs to break through. This is going to be a big breakthrough month for a lot of people. And I wanted to pull again one more message from one of my favorite angel decks, because I use this a lot. Obviously, this Daniel. This is about marriages, right? I'm the angel of marriage, and I'm assisting you right Now, so marriage can be symbolic. And marry the yin and the yang. That's what I'm seeing in this card, the feminine and the masculine parts of ourselves. The passive, if you don't like masculine and feminine, the receptive versus the active part of ourselves, the cool versus the hot part of ourselves, whatever you want, this goes into Taoism, the yin and the yang symbol. There's always a little bit of yin and the yang and vice versa. It acknowledges that all opposites are really one and the same, but they're different expressions of the same thing. And without those opposite expressions of the same energy, physical reality could not be. So physical reality is all a big old binary scale where there's zeros. Zero is the sacred yoni, one is the sacred phallus, and everything's one and zero. So the number 2 in binary code is 10, and the number 3 is 11, and the number 4 is 100. So everything, that's a simplistic way of talking about the fractal nature of the universe and how things build in the physical through the simple formula. It's not that simple. That there's more to it than that. But that's that. And then a few of you may actually, think about getting married or have a real marriage or meet a boyfriend or girlfriend or something like that. So anyways, that's what I have. So Saturday at 8 p.m. Because I work, no, Saturday can be at 7. I work till 6 on Saturday. So 7, we'll do a transmission for the new moon with the master teachers and the angels. Also, Heather Istara, our healer, is going to do her own transmission. Actually, she's going to do that and upload that as a video. So look for that also. That's going to be on the Medium channel as well. So you're going to have both one from Heather and one from me. And let us know which one you like better. No, I'm just kidding. Don't don't do that. No comparison. No comparison. It's just harmonizing. All right, I love you. Thank you. So we actually went 40 minutes. Lots and lots of love. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I love you. Thank you for being part of this community. And I'll post some information on the pinned comment when this is a video. And if you want to check out Spirit Mind Family, that's our Patreon group. It's spiritmindfamily.com patreon.com/Spirit Mind Family. Okay. This is, I think this is starting to look like a good time to end, is it not? Yes, it is. Could I see what's going on here? All right. Thanks, everybody. I love you. Take care. Many blessings, and see you next time.